Welcome to the MamasteFit YouTube channel. In this mobility flow, we're going to be focusing on releasing the pelvic floor using a birth ball. This birth ball is from Trideer. I do find the material feels really nice and I highly recommend it. And they have several sizes as well. But whatever stability or birth ball you have available for you is going to be great to flow through several movements to release all the different portions of your pelvic floor. Hey, my name is Gina. I'm a perinatal fitness trainer and birth doula and the founder of MamasteFit, and I'm going to take you through some exercises to help release each different portion of your pelvic floor, because there is not one movement that stretches your whole pelvic floor or strengthens your whole pelvic floor, and so we're going to discuss that during this flow. For the first movement, we're going to have the knees a little bit wider. We're going to place our arms into the ball to press down, and then we're going to come to this seated position where we're slightly rounded. So pressing into that ball is going to help to engage your abs to help you round. And we're just going to breathe here to start. So big inhale into your back. And then exhale, think draw belly to spine. So big inhale to like the back of your pelvic floor. Exhale, think lift up in the front half of your pelvic floor. You can think inhale to kind of like open up your butthole, for lack of better words. And then exhale, think lift like a blueberry up with your vagina. So we inhale to stretch the back of the pelvic floor, and then exhale to lift the front. Now come forward and we're going to come into a deep squat position and drop into that position. And then you can kind of lean forward with the birth ball to find a little bit of a round as well. So big inhale into the back. Exhale, lift in the front. So these wider leg positions where your knees are a little bit wider help to stretch and target more of the front half of the pelvic floor. But when we add a little bit of the rounding, it also helps to get a little bit to the back. So we're just kind of stretching a little bit along the pelvic floor area. And now we can come forward onto the toes, find a little bit more of an arch, and then exhale to drop back into the heels. So just kind of rocking forward and backwards using the ball. And then find a lunge. So right leg or left leg is going to come forward and we're just going to kind of rock into that leg and then come back. So just rocking in and out of that leg. As we rock, I want you to think kind of like belly rotating away from that thigh. So we're going to feel a little bit more of that groin type stretch as we rock into that leg. This is going to be targeting more of the anterior quadrants, like the front part of that left side. So feeling a little bit more stretch in the left groin. You can add like a little bit of an arch in your back and that'll deepen the release in that front part of the pelvic floor. And then think lots of weight in the big toe of that left foot. And now let's switch to the other leg. So right leg, same thing. We're going to be rotating belly away from that thigh to kind of shift into it. Lots of weight in that right big toe as we kind of lunge a little bit deeper into that leg. And then this is one now targeting more of that right front quadrant. So the pelvic floor to the front, a little bit to the right. You'll feel a little bit more of like kind of a groin stretch here. If you don't feel the groin stretch, think about kind of rotating belly away as you press that knee out. And then also think lots of weight in that right big toe. Now let's straighten that left leg out to the side and we're going to push the ball forward as we shift our hips back and then extend in the hip. So push the hips back as you reach forward and then extend in the hip. So this again is stretching more of that groin inner thigh, helping to target more of the front half of the pelvic floor towards this side. And taking your time with this, so pausing at the bottom and then coming up to extend. And as we extend, we're thinking almost like tuck the butt underneath as we push forward. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So right leg is out straight, and we're going to push those hips back as we reach forward with the ball and then bring the ball in. And you may notice that the right or the left side feels a little bit tighter for you. Maybe it feels more restricted. Maybe it doesn't. For me, the right half of my pelvic floor tends to be a little bit more overactive. And because of that, I feel a little bit more like pinching on the right side in like the groin area. And so emphasizing the movement on the side that feels a little bit more restricted can be helpful. We don't have to do everything perfectly the same on both sides. So now let's come into a hip shift. So we'll have our chest on the ball and we're going to shift our weight towards one side. So legs are just like a little bit wider. And then we're going to kind of rock back into the hip that we've kind of shifted our weight towards. And when we do that, we're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch, again, in that groin area of the leg we've shifted away from. Maybe we find a little bit more kind of rounding as we come back, maybe a little bit more arching if you want to feel a little bit more in that groin. Now let's shift our weight to the other side, and same thing, knees are a little bit wider. We're gonna have more of that stretch in the inner thigh groin, and then shift back towards the leg that you've kind of shifted your weight into. Maybe a little bit of an arch to target a little bit more of the front half of the pelvic floor groin area. And then you can just kind of rock in and out. I have a little bit more of an arch in my back because I'm trying to target more of the front half of my pelvic floor. Now we're gonna finish up with knees in, ankles out. So it's not gonna be an extreme rotation, but just a little bit more. I'm gonna press my arms into that ball similar to the first one, so I have a little bit more core activation, and then bringing it back to sit as low as I can. If you need to, you can sit down to a yoga block if that feels more comfortable for you. And then come forward. And again, we're gonna press into it to turn the abs on, to sit back. Well, we're looking to find more internal rotation. This is going to help to target more of the back half of the pelvic floor. But we want to find that internal rotation with that posterior pelvic tilt. We don't want to find internal rotation with an arch because this can really strain those hips. And now we're going to finish just breathing here for 1 minute in this more internally rotated position. So knees in, ankles out, pressing into the balls just like we started, but now we're internally rotated. Big breath into the back side of the body. Exhale, lift in the front. A lot of us tend to have more length to the front half of the pelvic floor. And so today we were really focusing on trying to offload the front half of the pelvic floor so that it can release and let go. But we tend to have a little bit more compression and tightness to the back half of the pelvic floor. So when we think breathe into the back, we're creating more length, and then lift in the front, we're helping to shorten a half of the pelvic floor that tends to be a little bit longer. And this concludes our pelvic floor release workout. In this workout, we went through a few different movements to help release different portions of the pelvic floor, a little bit more of an emphasis to offloading the front half of the pelvic floor that tends to have more overactivity. I hope this workout felt really good for you, and thanks so much for choosing us to support you during your pregnancy and beyond. If you would like more support from us during your pregnancy, birth, and beyond, check out our online prenatal and postpartum fitness programs. We offer it in this video-based program, in addition to self-paced workouts to help support you however you choose to work out during your pregnancy, birth, and beyond. You can check out all of our programs on our website at MamasteFit.com and use code YouTube10 to get 10% off any of our online offerings. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you get notified whenever we release new videos. We release new workouts every Tuesday in addition to educational content throughout the week.